A panel of multiple different legal experts have put together a sample prosecution memo that they say is basically the outline that would happen if they were a part of the DOJ, and some of these people were at one point. But in their sample prosecution memo, these legal experts have laid out plenty of instances where they believe that the criminal evidence is so overwhelming that not only will it secure an indictment against Donald Trump for trying to overturn the 2020 election results, but they believe that the evidence that's publicly known, and that is key, by the way, is enough to already secure a conviction against Donald Trump. These experts are Norm Eisen, Noah Bookbinder, Donald Iyer, Joshua Stanton, Dania Perry, Deborah Perlin, and Kayvon Farhadi. So you've got a lot of great legal minds there, people that I have quoted in the past in videos. And what they've done is essentially what the DOJ will do when they eventually decide to prosecute Trump. You put together this prosecution memo. It lays out all the evidence. It has the pros, it has the cons, it has the avenues, it has the statutes, and it basically builds step by step how they would go about prosecuting Donald Trump. So in their sample prosecution memo, these experts say that the big charge, which is the one I've talked about the most, is likely going to be conspiracy to defraud the government of the United States. Essentially, Trump's plan and his lawyers' plans to go out, seize the voting machines, to run the alternate slates of electors based on bogus claims of voter fraud, that would be an attempt to deceive the federal government into, putting up these fake electors. So that is the conspiracy to defraud the government of the United States. Of course, I distilled it down to like this, but really to explain it, it's like this. But all you need to know is that the attempt to convince the government to switch out the electors based on phony information, that was their attempt to defraud the government. That's the best way to distill it. And again, that really is all we need to know about that. But they continue. Here we conclude there likely is sufficient evidence to obtain and sustain a conviction of Trump for his three-step plan to overturn the election. According to Raw Story, Trump worked with his lawyers to overturn an election he knew he had lost, which they say constitutes a conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and the administration of elections. And after those schemes failed, they tried to obstruct an official proceeding by attempting to block certification of Joe Biden's win or delay the electoral count. But then Vice President Mike Pence refused to act on that plan. The memo continues. When Pence refused, Trump went to his last resort, triggering an insurrection with the hope it would throw Congress off course, delaying the transfer of power for the first time in American history. This implicated statutes such as 18 U.S. Code 2383, which prohibits inciting an insurrection and giving aid or comfort to insurrectionists. So, not only do these legal experts say that we've got them on defrauding the government, like that's pretty easy, they also say that we can probably get him under the 14th Amendment, inciting the insurrection, which would prevent him from ever holding a public office in the United States ever again. Now, that's a big one. That's what a lot of people have been asking me about. Like, will this, potential conviction here prevent Trump from running for office? And only if Jack Smith secures it under that 18 U.S. Code 2383. I think that's, 2383. Now, if they get that, he's done. He can't run for office again under the 14th Amendment. These prosecutors also say that they don't have any idea what the timeline is. They don't know when potential charges on this part of the Jack Smith investigation are going to come down. But they did say one thing that gives us an idea of the timeline they believe they're working with at the DOJ. And again, some of these people are from the DOJ. Others are, former federal prosecutors. They know how these things work. So when they tell us things like this, we should believe them because, again, they've been in these situations. They've done this before. But they say that due to the potential charges that Jack Smith could be bringing against Trump, they will likely want to file their indictments before Fannie Willis in Fulton County can file hers. Otherwise, hers are going to be out there and they're going to be a little bit less than what the government charges him with. And they want the government to strike first, and then Fannie Willis can come up with the supplemental later. You don't do the supplemental first and then the big part later. It's not like appetizers and entrees. We're talking about entrees and desserts at this point. So Fannie Willis has told us that we're going to get indictments by September 1st. So if that is Fani Willis's timeline, then it stands to reason, based on what these experts say, that Jack Smith's timeline is even shorter, and we may see the next round of indictments handed down in a matter of weeks at this point. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.